This is ABC7 News Weekend Edition. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, a man has been charged with murder after a dead body was found inside a Bradenton home Sunday. Police called to the home on 21st Street West around 4 o'clock this morning. When officers arrived, they found a 43-year-old man dead inside. Hours later, detectives arrested and charged Albert Knowles with that murder. At this time, the victim's identity has not been released until law enforcement can notify next of kin. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact the Bradenton Police Department. FEMA has already approved $737 million in financial help for Florida's hurricane victims, and the Department of Children and Families is now helping locals restock their fridges through its Food for Florida program. ABC7's Erica Jackson spoke with those lined up for food assistance at the DeSoto Square Mall today, and she's here to tell us why it's a crucial leg up for so many. Erica?
Good evening, Adam. DCF staff, they're wrapping up their first day here at the DeSoto Square Mall. They tell me when they arrived this morning at around 6:30 a.m., there was a line of about 4,500 people starting behind me about where the food court starts, wrapping around Hudson's Furniture, all of those people looking to get food stamps to relieve some of the stress caused by Hurricane Irma.
We're on Social Security. We don't have a lot of money.
Ernest and Kathy Dow have seen many highs and lows during their 45-year marriage. One recent low, a tree falling on their home during Hurricane Irma.
Knocked down the power lines and sparks, and the tree was catching on fire.
The damage total is more than $7,000, not including the food lost while they were without power for 6 days.
Food prices are going up, and you know, it's hard just for two of us and the dog. I mean, it's like $125 a week.
We didn't have a generator anywhere to keep cold food.
Deborah Williams and the Dows joined thousands of other families taking advantage of DCF's Food for Florida program. All eligible families will receive the maximum amount of food assistance, and families already receiving food stamps will get additional benefits added to their EBT cards for September and October.
We just buy a little bit at a time until now. I got my card, so we're going to stock it up.
DCF staff will remain at the DeSoto and Sarasota Square malls through Tuesday, including employees who speak Spanish and Creole, and a separate area for those with special needs. Families are eligible based on income and must have experienced a disaster-related loss, like the Dows, who say it could have been much worse.
But I'm sure there's other people that could use it even more than us.
Sure.
Puerto Rico, I'm sure they need it.
And when I arrived around noon today, the line was still wrapped around the building. I spoke to some people that went through the complete process, and they tell me that the line took about 2.5 hours to get through. But once they got to the building, it only took about 10 minutes to complete the process inside. And you can help expedite the process by pre-registering on DCF's website, and you can find the link to DCF's website on our website, mysuncoast.com. Reporting live at the DeSoto Square Mall in Bradenton, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Erica. And those locations at the DeSoto Square and Sarasota Square malls will be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. through Tuesday, but everyone is encouraged to get there early because those lines may close before 6 p.m. Well, the Venice Fishing Pier will reopen sooner than expected thanks to temporary repairs. The pier was closed after Hurricane Irma caused structural damage, but today the Venice City Council directed staff to move forward with the temporary repairs so the Venice Fishing Pier can reopen. This is while a formal bidding process for replacement of the pier's decking and railing is completed. Temporary work is set to begin tomorrow and is expected to be completed in about 10 days. And now let's head over to Steve Newman in for Wendy Ross tonight. Steve, welcome back.
Thanks. A little excitement this afternoon. Rumbles of thunder over the Suncoast. We had expected these showers to come in from the Atlantic, but we didn't expect the Gulf sea breeze to be so strong they would bunch up against them, lift those storms, and create a solid line, pretty much, of storms that have rumbled over the Suncoast during the last hour. Some lingering ones are up over Bradenton, Manatee County, and you can see that sea breeze front just interacting with them. Very strong, but I think in the next 10 or 15 minutes, most of that is going to move offshore. And in southern parts of Sarasota County and Charlotte County, they're already seeing those showers thin out, and pretty much the worst is over down there. Temperatures across the state pretty much in the 80s, but we've had some local rain cooling, like Siesta Key 77, 75 at Sarasota as a result of those storms that we've just had in the last hour. We were in the mid and upper 80s just a couple hours ago. Here is the overnight future radar prediction showing the storm's gone and they won't be back overnight, but we could see some patches of ground fog. That is the milkiness you're seeing, but when the sun comes up, it'll evaporate to a nice sunny and mild day. We have a cool front coming our way. I'll tell you about that and a look at our hurricane hitting Ireland tomorrow in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you, Steve. Now let's head to California, where wildfires continue to blaze tonight. Here is a look from above Sonoma County, California, where one of the largest of those wildfires continues to burn. This area currently under evacuation, and you could just see images. They're starting to look all the same at this point of the smoke and fire burning there. ABC's Maggie Rulli tells us the situation is actually looking better as firefighters begin to gain the upper hand.
After the deadliest week in wildfires California has ever seen, finally some cautious optimism.
We're starting to gain the lead on many of these fires. We're not out of the woods yet.
Containment numbers on all major fires are up, and residents inside Napa city limits and some hard-hit areas of Santa Rosa are now coming home. Yet firefighters warn some areas remain extremely dangerous.
We understand that desire to get back in their homes. Everyone wants to be at home. Unfortunately, there are conditions that are out here that still do not allow us to let the public back in, not only for their safety, but our safety as well.
For many, the damage is already done.
The house is gone. We've seen some aerial shots. It's piles of ash.
As Bob Boyett's house burned, he went to work, opening up all of the grocery stores that he manages in the area.
It's our job to take care of our community and do what we can, and we got all the stores open. This is my family. These are my people here.
In the evacuation zone, he's opening his doors for free to first responders.
They need like energy drinks, water, food, sandwiches, anything like that they need.
Helping these men and women who have sacrificed so much this past week to help them. Even though firefighters are starting to get the upper hand on these blazes, authorities are still cautious to let evacuees back home. And here's why. Behind me, you can see an active wildfire still blazing, still very dangerous and close to this vineyard. And with these fires already claiming so many lives, authorities do not want to take any chances. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Santa Rosa, California.
Back here on the Suncoast now, some of you may have experienced some delays on the interstate earlier today. Well, that cause for southbound drivers was a car that was on fire along I75 near exit 202. It left one person dead and another was transported to the hospital. Detectives and first responders were on scene this morning, blocking southbound traffic for some time. At this time, the identity of that deceased victim has not been released as investigators try to contact next of kin. And if you want to stay up to date on the latest local news and see alerts on traffic and breaking news instantly, you can download our app or re-download our app if you're an iPhone or iPad user. You'll want to go to the App Store and search WWSB or My Suncoast. It is completely free and provides the most comprehensive news for our area. Android users don't have to worry. They will get that new version automatically if you already have the app downloaded. Well, a demonstration was underway on the Suncoast just a little under an hour ago. People gathering to protest at Marina Jacks in Sarasota while also collecting supplies and donations to be sent to the people of Puerto Rico who are suffering in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Organizers say they are not satisfied with what the U.S. government and FEMA are doing to help people down there, which is why they are asking folks to donate supplies to be delivered to the hurricane-stricken areas. ABC spoke with Millie Lugo Fernand at the demonstration. She is a local who grew up in Puerto Rico, and she says she is doing all she can for her friends and family there.
The love for Puerto Rico and our people is very, very strong, and they feel they have to fight for us. So they're going to stay there, and that's okay. I respect them, but my house is open for them anytime they want.
I apologize, the last name is Ferdinand there. This weekend, the death toll rising to 48 people in Puerto Rico. Communication is steadily being restored to the island, but Millie says most of her confirmation that her family is safe came through social media. A senior living community in Bradenton moving forward into fall this weekend by giving back. Discovery Village at Sarasota Bay hosting Pumpkins for a Purpose. That event featuring dozens of pumpkins for sale, and for every pumpkin sold, the proceeds went to the nonprofit organization Disabled American Veterans.
We wanted to give back to not only our employees but to our residents, and the best way that we could do that in addition is to help other veterans. So that's a special place in our heart.
The nonprofit Disabled American Veterans helps more than 1 million veterans and their families, and this community was able to raise $600 this weekend for their cause. Well, still to come here on ABC7, hundreds dead after a double car bombing in Somalia, what we know so far. Plus, as President Trump gears up for the week ahead, one of his most trusted members of cabinet is setting his sights on tax reform.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Consumer Cellular makes it easy to stay in touch with family and stay within our budget.
Now our cell phone bill is only a fraction of what it used to be.
Our average customers get everything they need for about $25 a month, and plans start at only $15 a month with no contracts.
Consumer Cellular has a great choice of phones. Check out my new one.
I picked this simple phone.
I use my son's old smartphone. Kept my number, too.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, and members get exclusive discounts.
It's a good thing Consumer Cellular is always there, because sometimes I need a little help.
Sometimes. We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of change.
We actually use change. Luckily, there are some things we can still afford.
Like Consumer Cellular.
Stop paying too much for wireless service. Switch to Consumer Cellular. And with our 30-day risk-free guarantee, it's easy. Call 1-800-920-3084. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Welcome back. The death toll from a car bombing in Somalia has reached at least 276 people, 300 more injured. That's according to a Somali senator who spoke with hospital officials. The first blast hit a popular hotel in the capital of Mogadishu Saturday, creating a massive plume of smoke. A second car bomb exploded nearby just a few minutes later. Somali police say they were chasing one of the cars when that blast happened. There have been no claims or no one taking responsibility for these attacks so far. Somalia has been fighting a group linked to al-Qaeda that has carried out car bombings in the past. And now to our nation's capital, and President Trump setting his sights on a familiar target as one of his most trusted members of cabinet speaks out. And one Republican lawmaker who's been playing both sides of the aisle addresses another big campaign promise. ABC's Chuck Sievertson helps break it all down.
President Trump again taking part in one of his favorite weekend activities, golfing. The commander-in-chief hitting the links Sunday at Trump National Golf Club in Virginia with none other than Senator Rand Paul. Earlier in the day, the president took to Twitter, bashing the New York Times for a recent article criticizing his lack of accomplishments. That article highlighting his decertification of the Iran nuclear deal and failure to repeal and replace Obamacare. One of those lawmakers who helped defeat the measure, Senator Susan Collins of Maine. When asked about the president's other big-ticket item, tax reform, which begins with the Senate passing a budget, she appeared more optimistic.
We haven't had an overhaul of the tax code since 1986. I don't think there's a single American who thinks that the tax code is fair.
Meanwhile, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson going on the record with CNN about reportedly calling the president a moron during a meeting at the Pentagon.
Is it true? Did you call him a moron?
Jake, as I indicated earlier when I was asked about that, I'm not going to deal with that kind of petty stuff. I mean, this is a town that seems to relish gossip, rumor, innuendo, and they feed on it. They feed on one another in a very destructive way.
The Secretary of State also discussed North Korea, saying the president has made it clear he wants the situation resolved diplomatically, adding he is not looking to go to war. Chuck Severson, ABC News, New York.
Another first alert weather update, and Steve, just a few minutes ago it was quiet, and then all of a sudden, boom. Heavy rain, thunder, all of it.
It came down, and we needed the rain. It not only cooled us off, but our lawns needed it too, because it hasn't rained very much for a long time, so it was a good thing to happen. And let's take a look at the storms approaching today from our Van Wezel cam. A beautiful day all day long until about 5 o'clock or so, and you'll see the shelf cloud pass overhead, and it just kind of doused the Suncoast, and it's starting to improve the conditions right now. So let's get right to radar, showing what is left, the heaviest from about Sarasota up into Manatee County, moving to the mouth of Tampa Bay, and it had a lot of lightning with these storms. I'm glad most of you got indoors, because when you get lightning like this popping up, get inside quickly, because there were a lot of blue positive strikes, the most deadly kind that come from very high in the clouds to hit the ground that can kill you. You can see most of the storms up in Manatee County are now beginning to move offshore. I think give it another half hour, 45 minutes, but down in southern parts of Sarasota County, Charlotte County, they're dissipating, and it's just going to be a nice, cool, pleasant evening in the southern part of our viewing area. Currently, it's pleasant at the airport, 74, with the showers ending, dew point 73, so the humidity is up. And it dropped our temperature from 91 to 73 in just a few minutes with those storms passing in. Last night's low was 72, so we're almost to last night's low. Still above normal on both counts, but I think we're going to cool down a little bit as a nice cool front approaches us on Tuesday and Wednesday. Before we talk about Hurricane Ophelia, I want to tell you the purpose of hurricanes. Meteorologically, they are to take the excess heat from the tropics and deposit them in the Arctic. It's been going on long before human beings were walking this earth. Now let's talk about Ophelia. Maximum winds right now 85 miles an hour, and tonight, within the next few hours, it's losing its tropical characteristics. It's losing its eye, and by Monday morning, still 80 miles an hour, and as it moves over the heart of Ireland tomorrow as a post-tropical low, it's still going to pack quite a punch. Probably the strongest punch since Hurricane Debbie hit the island in 1961. Cutting right across the heart of Ireland, 65-mile-an-hour winds, but the right-hand side gets the strongest, so a lot of England, Wales, Scotland are going to get very heavy rains. Now, the purpose of hurricanes. Look at it moving up north of Norway, delivering that excess heat and moisture into the Arctic, just as a hurricane should. As we saw earlier in the newscast, the wildfires still very smoky out there, but they're getting a handle on many of the blazes. Winds, other than in Napa, where it's offshore at 16, very dry offshore winds. Until we get the humidity up, things are not going to get much better, and it'll take most of the week for that to happen. You can see in the teens the humidities throughout the wine country. Point Reyes is a lot of times engulfed in fog, 100% humidity. To see the humidity in the teens and 20s is just very rare. Take a look at the forecast for them. They are going to get some rain later on in the week as we look at the European model. By Friday, I think they could get a quarter to a third, but it is so dry out there. A third of an inch of rain isn't going to make that much difference, but it will raise the humidity and also lower the temperatures, which will help. We don't have any of those problems here on the Suncoast. A look at our week ahead. It's going to turn a little cooler, more comfortable as we go day by day, because a cool front will stall over us about Tuesday and Wednesday, and that will bring more comfortable nights especially. Here's the RPM computer forecast showing that front approaching from the northwest and also some fog possible in the morning hours, but as the sun comes up, it should burn off. And then late Monday, Tuesday, that front sagging right over top of us, increasing our chance of rain to about 50 or 60%. Nothing very heavy, but just behind it, maybe a drop in dew point temperatures of 2, 3, 4 degrees will make it feel much better by the end of the week. And here's your 7-day outlook showing the chance of rain bumping up with that front on Tuesday and Wednesday, then drying out. And look at our lows in the upper 60s. It's going to feel pretty nice as we move later in the week, Adam.
Now, sports.
Big college football shakeup this weekend. 7 ranked teams losing to unranked opponents, including the defending national champs Clemson. Penn State, who did not play last week, takes their spot at number 2, 15 points ahead of undefeated Georgia. Meanwhile, Miami continues its steady climb, moving into the top 10 for the first time this season at number 8. USF moves up 2 spots to tie for number 16. ESPN tweeting today that the Bulls are now just the second team since 1936 to score at least 30 points in 23 straight games. Conference rival University of Central Florida also moving up to 20. The Miami Dolphins taking a trip to the brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium to face the 2-2 Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan looking like his reigning MVP self early on, throwing a bomb to wide open Marvin Hall. The Falcons would take a 17-0 lead into the locker room after the first half, but the second half was all Dolphins. Jay Cutler finding Jarvis Landry. That cuts the deficit to 3. They would later tie it with a field goal, then take the lead with another. And under a minute to go for the Falcons, Matt Ryan's pass picked off by Rashad Jones. The Finns completing the comeback, hang on to win their third game, 20-17. And a rough day right now for the Buccaneers out in Arizona. They are down 38-20 to the Cardinals, and Adrian Peterson just scored another touchdown. He's turning back the clock today. And also earlier today, the Lightning turning back the clock to 1992 for their 25th anniversary celebration. The Bolts going back to their first home, the Florida State Fairgrounds, to sign autographs, meet some fans, and for former head coach Terry Crisp, we'll give out a few hugs right there. The Lightning were voted the best franchise in sports a year ago by ESPN magazine.
I absolutely had the belief that this would be a good hockey town. Once I could get them to understand what the game was about.
We were the cornerstone. We were the first ones here, and that can never be relived, but never be taken away. We were the original Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team.
In a quarter century, the Bolts have reached the playoffs 9 times, the Stanley Cup Finals twice, and they won the championship for the first and only time back in 2004. More to come here on ABC7. Stay with us.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
The movie Happy Death Day got the better of Blade Runner at the box office this weekend. That horror flick taking the top spot after 3 days in the theaters, raking in an estimated $25.5 million, while Blade Runner 2049 slipped to number 2, pulling in about $15 million. The number 3 spot went to Jackie Chan's new thriller, The Foreigner. That's expected to make close at $13 million. And finally, a fidget spinner in space. Yes, we know you've all wondered what would happen, and now we get to see it. The popular new toy was an astronaut's fun science experiment this week. That spinner with the NASA logo on it, spinning about aboard the International Space Station. How long does it spin? My guess, forever. I'm no expert, but it is a fun way to check out Newton's laws of motion.
I was wondering what is happening when they grab it. Is the momentum of the spinner causing the astronauts to spin, or were they just showing off?
I think the momentum of the spinner. I like to dream that it's the momentum of the spinner spinning the astronauts.
That's a lot of energy to be transferred to a big human being.
So who is the fidget spinner in space? Answer that question.